Yes. Go live. Okay. The first thing we need to do is talk about what in the world does a linear equation look like? Guys, I will move seats if I've got to, if you will not stop talking while I'm teaching. What does an equation look like if it's a linear equation?
Straight.
Slope, intercept, form. What would it start with? What should every equation technically start with?
A triangle
Y
over X.
equal
MX plus B.
mx plus
Oh,
b.
yeah.
Y equals
MX plus B.
mx plus b. Okay? This is called slope-intercept form of an equation.
Wait, hold on. What did he question?
Yes. Some of this is going to be hardcore review. Okay? Some of you struggled with it last year, which is why we're looking at it again this year, to make sure we get it this year. Okay, so why? What's some other words we use for why? Mm-mm.
Independent. Or no, deep.
That's your dependent.
Start.
Okay, dependent. Why is your dependent? It is your output. Okay, let's look at M. What does M represent in this equation? That's your slope. So M is your slope, which is your change in Y over your change in X. Okay, it is not independent.
Isn't that the rate of change?
Okay, rate of change. Your X is your independent. Good. So Xavier says, whoops, if I could spell today.
That's why
Whoops.
that's right okay.
Right. Listen, I really can't spell today. N-D-E-P-E-N-T-E-N.
That's why I'm trying to spell that. Well, Boosie, you help me out. You help me out.
Oh.
Yes. There we go. It's going to be one of those days. X is your independent or your input.
I put M.
And what does B stand for in this equation?
Your starting point.
It's your starting point. Okay, so if we move over to B, B is your starting point. Your y-intercept. That means X equals what if it's the y-intercept? What is your value for X? Every time? 0. Okay, so this point is always 0, comma, whatever this value is. So 0, comma, B is your y-intercept.
That's 0B.
0, comma B.
That's all we had to put.
Yep. Okay. This is going to have to go sideways in on page 33. Make sure you put it more towards the middle so we have some room to write at the bottom. Okay. So give yourself some room. We need to put some examples. The middle of the book. I meant like the middle towards the crease. Okay, once you glue that in, I need you to get these 3 examples underneath of it. Huh? Got your homework done when? Turn it in. Okay. Okay. Get this glued in and get these examples down. Okay, before we can identify a slope, the first thing that needs to happen is my equation needs to be in slope-intercept form. Okay, it needs to be in slope-intercept form. So take a look at number 1. Is my equation in slope-intercept form? Yes. It is y equals.
What are you eating?
I'm not eating anything.
Why?
What is the Halloween?
It's wax.
Oh.
Y equals -3/5 x plus 4. Once it's in slope-intercept form, what is my slope?
4.
-3 over 5. So that's my slope. Okay. Take a look at number 2. Am I in slope-intercept form? No. What is my problem here?
Let's go Y.
You gotta
The
wait.
y is a problem.
You have to replace the 3.
What?
I don't have a 3x. You're looking at number 3, honey. Look at number 2. You fine. You're absolutely correct when we get there, but you're on the wrong one. Okay, so this one, there's a problem. My y is not by itself. There's a 2 there. How do I get rid of that 2? We divide. Remember, when I divide by 2, everything has to be divided by 2. Huh? That's because that's exactly what this is. Y'all asked me why we did literal equations. This is why. You cannot graph without changing it to slope-intercept form. You need to be able to manipulate equations. That's what Little Equations does. So we divide by 2, and I'm left with y equals
Y equals 2x minus
2x minus 3. Now what is my slope?
2.
It's not 2x, it is just 2. Your slope is the value in front of x. Okay, the last one. Uh-oh. What should I move first to get the last one to y equals? I need to move that 3x. So the 3x needs to go across the line to the other side, which means I need to do what? Subtract it. Okay. When I subtract, they cancel out here. So I'm left with 2y equals, does 3x and 12 go together? So side by side, so negative 3x plus 12. They are not like terms. You cannot add or subtract them. They just go side by side. And we're not there yet.
There is a solution.
I still need y by itself. What now?
Y equals
Divide by
3 over 2.
divide by 2. So y equals, okay, keep it as a fraction. Negative 3/2. That does not reduce at all. Do not change it to a decimal. Okay. X plus 6. So now what is my slope? Negative 3 over 2. Okay, so you will have really easy ones where you can just look at it and say, this is my slope. You will have medium ones where all you have to do is really divide everything and you can find the slope. Then you'll have these harder ones where you have to move the x first and then divide. Okay. Questions? Okay. I need you to grab your paper that says slope from 2 points.
Wait, that goes on page 33, right?
Yes.
Page 33. On the other 2 pages.
You just skipped a page.
Well, wouldn't something have to go?
No. You literally just skipped a page.
But if I go back and fill those pages in.
There's nothing to go there, though. You seriously just skipped a page.
Wait, so we intentionally skipped that. But then you guys did it. So I don't know if that thing should be getting on page 33. So what page is this? Like page 10. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Pages you did.
This was supposed to be 22 and 23. Look, 22 and 23. You literally just skipped a page. Yes, Brenda. Yes, Brenda. Yes, Brenda.
I'm fixing it.
Quickly.
Oh,
Yeah, quickly.
Okay.
Okay, slope from 2 points. Okay, slope from 2 points. You have an actual equation that will give you the slope. Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do it with the equation, and I'm also going to show you how to do it my easy way. Okay. I feel like you struggle with the equation, but I'm going to show it to you because some people need that mathematical steps. Okay. The rest of you, I'm going to show you what we've been doing, which seems to be a little bit easier. So y2 minus y1 is the same thing as the change in y. x2 minus x1 is the same thing as the change in x. Okay, so we're doing change in y over change in x. Okay, so when you're using that formula, you need to label these. Okay, so 5 comma 2 should be your x1, y1. Your 4 comma negative 1 should be your x2, y2. What does those 1s and 2s stand for?
The square. What goes at the top and what goes at the bottom?
Okay, one goes at the top and one goes at the bottom. That x1, y1 says that's my first point. Okay, that 1 represents your first point. Your 2 then represents, that's your second point. So you would literally take y2, so negative 1, minus your y1, which is 2. And we divide that by your x2, which is 4, minus your x1, which is 5.
Oh my.
Okay, who still? Stop. Some people need it. If you don't like it, you can do it the other way. But right now you're being very rude to your classmates that need it by saying that this is excessive. Let me teach. Let me help those that need this. Now we solve. Negative 1 minus 2. Do you have a question, Bobby?
I thought it would have been like 5 subtract 4 and then 2 subtract 1.
Technically, it doesn't matter as long as if you use the 5 first and the 4 second, you use the 2 first and the 1 second. Okay. So, Sabi just asked, can I do it this way? Where on the top we use 2 minus negative 1, and in the bottom we use 5 minus 4. Watch what happens, because it'll come out to be exactly the same. Okay, so what's negative 1 minus 2? Okay, hold on. This is saying I start where? Negative 1, and I'm going where? 2 in the
Right. Left.
to the left in the negative direction. So what is my answer?
Negative.
Whoa. Negative 3. This says I start at negative 1 and I'm going 1, 2 spaces in the negative direction, which takes me to negative 3. Okay, so be careful. What's 4 minus 5? Negative 1. You start at positive 4 and you're going 5 in the negative direction. Well, what's negative 3 divided by negative 1? Positive 3. Remember, a negative divided by a negative is a positive 3. Okay. If I flip-flopped it and did it the other way, okay, where my x1 came first and my y1 came first, 2 minus a negative 1 becomes plus a positive, which gives me a positive 3. 5 minus 4 is a 1. Either way, it comes out to be the same exact answer. Okay. So again, it doesn't matter which ones you put first, but if you put y1 first, it has to be x1 first. Okay, you cannot interchange. Let's move to the right. Okay. What needs to happen on the top? 2 subtract 2. Changing y. Be careful. Y has to go on top. So 2 subtract 2 divided by, what are you putting in the bottom? 0 subtract -3. Well, what do I get when I take 2 minus 2? 0. The bottom, 0 minus a -3. +3. So what is my slope then? So m is, what's 0 divided by 3? 0. So here your slope is 0. Thank you, ma'am. Slope is 0 here. Okay. Let's move down to here. 4. 0 subtract 5. Careful. You're getting stuck on that minus a negative. I'm assuming they're down in the EC languages in the freshman. Okay. You have to be careful with that double negative because that minus a negative turns it into plus a positive. Okay, so it's actually 6 plus 4, which gives me what? 10. Okay, 0 minus 5. Not just 5. Negative 5.
You ain't gotta multiply it instead of first.
That's the same.
Even if you did that, you still get 0 plus negative 5 then.
Wait, that
No,
doesn't make sense.
24. Can you divide it? 6 out 4.
But the 6 isn't in front of the parentheses. There's an unwritten 1 here. Now, if it looked like this more, then yes. But because you have that plus sign there, the 1 distributes over, not the 6. Okay, so just be careful. Okay. So 10 divided by -5 is -2. Okay, we can make it into a fraction by putting it over 1. If you had to classify this slope would be what?
Negative.
Negative. Okay? Which means my picture should look like what? What should my line be doing if my slope's negative? Should be going downhill. Okay, it should be downhill slope. Let's look at this last one. What should the top look like? 1 minus -1. 6 minus 6. Okay, Xavier said 6 minus 6 is 0. Okay, and this is a 2. Because remember, your minus and negative turns into plus a positive. 1 plus 1 is 2. No, the answer is not 0. The answer is not 2.
Undefined.
What?
Undefined.
Undefined. Okay, your biggest rule in math. And if you look, surprisingly enough, Miss Smith has created the 10 commandments of math that she stole off of Pinterest. And rule number 1 says, thou shalt not divide by 0. You can never divide by 0 in math. That is considered undefined. So M is undefined.
Well, what happened to that problem? Go back to number 2.
Okay. So undefined, what does this look like as a picture? This is your vertical line. Okay, this is a vertical line because your slope is undefined. Yes. We're not going to get into that until we do systems. Yes.
Other equation 1, 0 over 3. And that was
Be careful, because the 0's on the top, so we're not dividing by 0, we're dividing by 3, which makes it 0. You can divide 0 by anything, and it's 0. You cannot divide anything by 0. Okay, so yes, your difference is the 0's on the top here, so it's 0. Your 0's on the bottom here, so it's undefined. Okay. Sabi, did you have a question? Quickly. Okay, this clues in on page 34. And you need to get out your last one, slope from scenarios. Yes, 34.
more what?
They said, Amor, you're beautiful. And Amor's over there like, I know.
Oh my Lord, man.
Look, it's your favorite part of math class. Word problems.
I hate that one. Oh, 35, right?
Huh?
There's no 35.
Scenarios will glue it on 35 if you want to glue them in already, that's fine. He said, watch out, son.
Oh, this Bill Gary put the chest in my head. Tell my sister what. She'll go here.
And give me a hug? Yes, she will. She sister loves me. Yes, word problems. Thanks, man. Don't worry, my seniors are gonna love me today too. It's their favorite day of the week, testing day.
They got a dress every
They got a test and a quiz this week. They're gonna hate me by Friday. Thank you.
Wait, so they got a kid?
They got a test today and a quiz on Friday.
What page is it?
Do we got quiz on Friday?
Oh, wait, this is our.
You have a quiz on Friday.
This is our.
Oh.
We're getting ready to do this right now. Okay. So,
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Yep. Okay. So, the biggest thing with word problems is you have to
What?
zip it.
So when's the day?
Okay. I'm just gonna wait patiently until we can control ourselves. Okay. The problem is with word problems is you all try to go too fast. I need you to take your time and read carefully. Understand what you are reading. So it says instructions, read each problem carefully and determine the coordinates of the 2 points mentioned. So you need to come up with your x comma y and your x comma y. Then we're going to use those to calculate the slope of the line passing through the 2 points. Write a sentence interpreting the slope of an average rate of change. Don't forget your units. So, is this miles per gallon? Okay. Is this money per pound? What am I looking at? So, let's take a look at number 1. While typing her English essay, Tammy noticed that her clock read 12:32 and the word count for her paper was 568. When she finished her paper, her clock read 12:48 and the final word count was 1,128. How many words per minute did she type? Okay, so here's your question. Here's what you're trying to solve. How many words per minute? So what should go on top? When I make my slope, remember it has to be change in y over change in x. They want words per minute. What's my y then?
Your Y is your word count.
Your y is your word count. Words per means to divide.
Minute is your X.
So minutes are going to be my x. So I need to find my change in words and divide it by the change in minutes. Well, how many words did I start with? 568. I started 568. And I went up to 1,128. So how many words did I type?
435.
You said
I said 435.
I'm hearing lots of different answers. It should be 560. Oops. 560 words.
16 minutes.
Okay. We need to figure out how many minutes did that take. Okay. What time did she start typing? 12:32. And we finished at 12:48. How many minutes did it take us to go from 12:32 to 12:48? 16. Okay. What do I get when I divide?
60.
What?
Ooh, I stumped them.
Because 10 divide 500 would be 50, and then 6 divide 6 would just give you another 10.
I stumped them. I like them. I actually don't know this off by hand. I really don't.
So who knows?
So 560 divided by 16. 35. So we type 35 words per minute. Okay. So when Tammy was typing up her paper, she typed 35 words every minute.
Wait, she typed 35 words in what?
Every minute.
Can't do
Yes, I can. I can actually type faster than that.
that. No, I said you can't do it. But is it? I can't do it.
Hold on, we're almost finished. Okay, back up here, boys. Okay, Mr. Suarez joined a gym to lose weight. After 3 weeks of membership, he weighed 189 pounds. When he had been a member for 12 weeks, he weighed only 162. How many pounds did he lose per week? What needs to go on top? The weight. Okay, so we're doing the change in weight over the change in weight is your pounds. Weeks. Change in time, and we're looking at weeks. Okay, so what weight did he start at? 189. What weight did he finish at? 162. He lost 27 pounds. So I should actually write that as a negative. The weight's going down. He's losing weight. So he's losing pounds. Okay? How many weeks did he start in? 3 weeks? And he's now at 12 weeks. So how many weeks have gone past? 9. So in 9 weeks, you just found out in 9 weeks, he's lost 27 pounds. Right? You told me in 9 weeks, he's lost 27 pounds. So how many pounds does he lose per week?
3.
He's losing 3 pounds per week.
I said that the first time.
Okay. He's losing 3 pounds per week. I'm so sorry, friend.
Anybody.
So he lost 3 pounds
Always.
per week.
Miss Smith,
Yes, Savior.
isn't it negative 3 because 10 can divide 9 negative 3?
Wait, what?
What?
You see negative 27 right there?
Uh-huh.
And you divide by 9, that becomes negative.
Right. That's why he lost 3 pounds. If it would have been a positive, he would have gained 3 pounds. Does that make sense?
So
In terms of weight, when I'm losing weight, it's dropping, so it should be a negative number. Because your weight's going down. Okay? So technically it should be positive 27 and negative 9, which makes it a negative 27 over 9.
Oh my god. I got the next one. Either 3 inches per square feet.
Okay? On his 5th birthday, Paul was 42 inches tall. On his 7th birthday, he was 48 inches tall. How many inches did he gain per year? What goes on top? Change in. Change in inches. Inches per year. So change in inches go on top. Change in years go on bottom. So, okay, change in inches. So I'm going from 42 to 48. Okay, so I'm gaining 6 inches. How many years have gone past? What's my change in years? 2. It was his 5th birthday to his 7th birthday. So 2 years. So he's gaining 3 inches per year. Okay, number 4. The value of my new car after 2 years was $11,200. When the car is 6 years old, the value has dropped to $6,100. How much value did the car lose per year? What goes on top? Change in money. Change in money. What goes in the bottom? Change in years. So what happened to my money? We started at $11,200. It dropped to $6,100. How much money did we lose? $5,100. How many years have gone past?
4.
4. Okay, when you divide, $1,275. So we lose every year. You lose $1,275. Okay, every year your car loses value. This clues in on page 35. I agree. But you've got to remember what that bottom number means. And I'm afraid if we take away the 1, you'll forget that that means per year. So I keep the 1. But you're absolutely right. If they asked for the slope, you could have just told me $1,275.
Well, what if the question, if there's only 1,025, then another question, then the answer.
They can't give you that because it's exactly the same. Okay. Listen, because I'm only going to say this once. Okay. You are getting this sheet as well as this sheet. Okay. There are 12 problems. Okay, so on page 36, you're gluing in this sheet, this purple sheet. On page 37, you are doing the work for each one of these. So you're going to solve each one of these on page 37. Once you solve them, you're going to cut them out and put them where they belong. Does my slope equal 0? Is my slope undefined? Is my slope 2? Or is my slope 1/2? If you get some answer that is not on here, you did something wrong. I need you to go back and look at it again. Okay, so all 12 of these cards need to be cut out and glued where they're supposed to go. So again, this purple sheet goes in on page 36. Your work gets done on page 37. And you cut these out and glue them where they belong. Questions? Okay.